Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to part 2 of energetic boundaries. Energetic boundaries are situations, events, and things that we're no longer accepting in our lives. Here's the deal with boundaries. They're not something that we tell others and expect them to abide by them, right? I think many of you have experienced setting a boundary with a parent or a partner and having that boundary crossed, perhaps multiple times, right? That's because that's not how energetic boundaries work. Like our own happiness, energetic boundaries are an inside job, meaning we are the ones who enforce the boundaries. One of the biggest things I want you to understand is that boundaries are for you. And that boundaries mean that you are not going to make yourself available for those behaviors anymore. You won't entertain those behaviors anymore. You decide that you're no longer going to entertain these people, these situations, or these events. One personal example that happened to me recently was with a client, or potential client actually, who wanted me to mentor her, right? She asked for my help, but when I would ask her more, she would say that the information is private and that she doesn't want to share. She literally would not give me any information about the nature of her problem. And at this point, we were speaking over text message. We went back and forth for about 5 or 6 rounds of me asking questions and her skirting the issues. After about 5 rounds of these text messages, I decided, you know what? This is not for me. She is not respecting my time, and I am allowing her to waste my energy here. So I decided to enforce my boundary of not having my energy wasted, right? I told her that we would not be able to work together and that I hope that she finds the help that she needs. And I meant that with all of my heart. I believe that she did need help, but it was not help I could give her, and not help I was willing to give her because it was breaking my boundaries. Notice here what happened. Notice that I decided what my boundary was. I'm no longer allowing others to waste one of my most precious resources, which is my energy, right? I'm not available for people that waste my energy. Notice also that it was me who enforced the boundary. I told her politely and in love that it was not the right mentor for her, and I meant that. Notice also that I did not over-explain myself. We do not owe everyone a long, drawn-out, heartfelt explanation. That's the truth. She was breaking a boundary. You all know how to set boundaries, but many times you do not do it for yourself or you don't enforce it. Here's another example. You may have experienced on social media a creeper sliding into your DMs, right, with some heinous message. It happens, okay? So what do? Delete and block. No explanation, none of that. You decide the boundary, you know when it's been crossed, and you take action, wasting as little time and energy as possible, right? That's a boundary. That's what we need to do in our everyday life with family and friends, but in a more loving way, perhaps, with those close to you, obviously. Usually, people know when they're breaking a boundary. They know it, okay? But because you have let it slide in the past, they keep breaking the boundary because it's never enforced by you. Energetic boundaries are things that you're no longer willing to entertain or accept. You create the list of your boundaries. An example of a boundary might be, I'm no longer available for gossip or toxic conversations, right? In this case, you can change the conversation, change the topic, or if that doesn't work, politely exit the conversation. Because if you stand there and listen, or if you engage in that conversation, what you're saying is, I do not have a boundary here, and you're breaking your own boundary. If you change the conversation and leave, you are enforcing your boundary of no more toxic conversations, right? You have to be willing to enforce your own boundaries. It's like dealing with kids, right? You have rules, and there are consequences for breaking the rules, right? People who like themselves don't let others crap all over them. And you know what? They are more likable because of it. People respect them more. People who like themselves don't spend time with people who feel terrible to hang out with. Say, for example, there's a group of friends that are always making fun of each other, talking behind each other's backs, being catty. What would it feel like to belong to that friend group? It would probably feel pretty crappy, right? If you're no longer willing to entertain situations that make you feel like crap, how would you respond to this group of friends? If it were me personally, I would just stop hanging out with them. That would be me enforcing my boundary. I don't spend time with people that make me feel like crap. I don't feel obligated to. And you shouldn't either. You don't owe anyone your time or energy. Here's where things get a little challenging if it's someone super close to you. If it's my husband or children, I would probably let them know they are breaking my boundary, right? But to tell you the truth, my husband would not intentionally make me feel like crap ever. So There's that. There's the choosing of the people in your life close to you. You have the right to choose. So you can be no longer available to situations that make you feel like crap too. Say, for example, your partner really likes to go to the sports bar on Friday night and drink and listen to the game. You decide this is really not your scene, right? You can make yourself unavailable for that and simply say no. Just say, I'm not going to do that. I love you, my dear partner. You go, you enjoy yourself, but I'm going to be true to myself. I'm going to be authentic, and I'm going to do the things. I'm not going to do things that don't feel good, right? I'm not going to break my own boundary. So you say to your husband, go, have fun, enjoy yourself. But you know what? It's just really not my scene, so I'm not going to go. That's you enforcing your own boundary of what feels good to you, right? One boundary I set a long time ago was not following online or watching any media where one side tried to cause division with another. I decided I was no longer available for division. It made me feel like crap. That kind of stuff on social media makes me feel like crap. And I'm not getting involved with it anymore. What I did was I just unfollowed those accounts. I don't get involved with the chats anymore. I turn my TV off. I'm just not willing to entertain that which makes me feel bad. Boundary set, boundary enforced, right? So also saying yes to things that you do not want to do is breaking your own boundaries. In case someone has not said it, you are allowed to say no to events and situations that don't feel good. You listen to your own inner truth and you hear what it is telling you. And it's telling you what your boundaries are. But so often we learn to tune out that voice by doing what others want or what society says. We do what we should, even though that should is against a boundary we have of not doing things that make us feel like crap. Say this mantra with me. I am no longer available for things that make me feel like crap. And you do not need to convince anyone to abide by your boundaries. You are the one who enforces your own boundaries by not being available for the thing, right? You simply don't answer the email. You don't open the chat. You don't reply to the comment. Don't answer the phone. Don't engage. Leave. Exit the scene. If you have to, quit the job or leave the relationships if that's what it takes to enforce the boundary that you have. Now, I'm not saying to go right out and get a divorce. If the issue is that serious, I recommend getting some help from a certified therapist, which I will tell you the truth, that's not my role. I'm a spiritual mentor. I also don't advise cutting your kids out of your life just because they're breaking your boundaries, right? Kids are a special case. Kids are still learning about life and these things, and it's fine to explain your boundaries to your children, especially if they're young, right? Okay, so with that said, let's take a look at the embodiment exercises. Get out your journal and write down what you are no longer available for. Make a list of what you will no longer entertain. You make a pact between you and your higher self. I am no longer available for this. Make an affirmation, and I want you to write it down. It's important to write it down. Say, I am no longer available for XYZ, whatever the thing is, right? Now, when a situation arises or a person comes along that goes against your boundary, do not get upset. Don't react. Don't get annoyed and don't get angry. Just say in a calm but firm way, that does not work for me. That just doesn't work for me. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And you don't even have to apologize. No. Just say no. If it's a text message and they broke your boundaries or they're asking for too much or whatever, just leave them on read. I'm being totally serious. Just don't even reply. Our people-pleasing tendencies inside us compel us to be nice, right? But consider this. If someone is breaking your boundary, are they being nice? Are they being respectful? Are they treating you the way that they would treat themselves? Probably not, right? If not, why do you feel compelled to give them the same courtesy of being nice? Here's the thing with people-pleasing. It usually comes from a childhood trauma of needing to make sure everyone likes you, because that's what makes you feel safe. But we're not children anymore, right? We're safe in our own bodies. If you do not feel this, go back to Module 1 and review the inner work we did around our childhood self, our inner childhood self, right? Guys, you have to understand this. People-pleasing is a totally manipulative behavior designed to make people like us. It's not actually being nice anyways. It's us denying who we really are and conforming to others to please them so that we're going to feel safe. It's a form of manipulation, trying to make another person happy or make them like you. It's okay if not everyone likes you. It's okay if your choices don't make others happy all the time. Listen to me. Their happiness is their responsibility, not yours. And that's the truth. So etch these words into your vocabulary and use them when needed. That does not work for me. I'm not going to do that. And no. And saying these things without getting upset means that you are in a place where you can stay where you are completely unbothered and in control of your own emotions. You don't get mad, you don't get annoyed when they break your boundaries, right? Because that gives them too much power. They are not to have any influence over your own emotions. You are the ninja of your emotions, right? Just say no. And if they want an argument, which they may, don't engage. Try and leave if you can, right? You're just no longer available for the thing. You're no longer available for people that break your boundaries. You're no longer available for people and things that make you feel like crap. This is a firm commitment that you make between you and your higher self, right? Affirm it. Affirm this. I am no longer available for people and things that make me feel like crap. Each time you affirm this, stand by it. You get stronger and stronger. And so do your energetic boundaries. Your boundaries will get stronger and stronger too, right? Once you start enforcing your own boundaries, you'll notice that the people who break your boundaries will kind of drift away. They may look for other people with weak boundaries to ask to do the things they once got from you, right? They may get mad. That's the truth. They may try to argue with you, but don't engage. That's not your problem. Their own emotions are their problem, but they're going to try and make it your problem by arguing or getting mad. Don't go down that road. Like I said before, if you try and control their emotions by either doing what they want instead of following your own truth, or if you try and argue with them, you are manipulating them, or you're trying to manipulate them at least. You're being a people pleaser, right? Trying to control how someone else feels is manipulation. The only emotions that you're responsible for are your own. If they're having emotions, that's their deal, right? You only get to control how you feel. How they feel is on them. It's their responsibility. You have done nothing wrong by enforcing your own boundaries in this way, right? You owe no explanation. Your energy is your own. It's your own precious resource for you to give how you want to give. You don't owe it to anyone. The truth is, most people who break boundaries know on some level that they're doing it. They know, okay, guys? They just do it because you've allowed it in the past. But no more. We're not doing that anymore. You make that commitment. You tell your higher self, source energy, the angels, that you are no longer available for that which makes you feel like crap. Stay calm, stay cool, stay collected, stay polite, of course, but you have a right to say no. You have a right to say, this doesn't work for me. You have a right to say, I'm not going to do that. You have a right to say, I'm not available for that. And they have a right to be mad or sad or whatever, and that's their business, not yours. Your energy is a precious resource. It was given to you to use for you. You do not owe it to anyone else. You can choose to give your energy if that's what you feel is in alignment with who you are at the time, but you don't owe it to anyone, right? And you don't have to earn the affection of others. You do not have to people please. It's manipulation and it backfires anyways. You do not have to say yes to things or do things for others to get them to love you. You are love, guys. You're worthy of love. You're a freaking divine being, right? Your true friends, your tribe, if you will love you without manipulation. You do not have to work for it. It's natural. You share a mutual connection that is equal from both sides. Once you start doing this work and enforcing your own boundaries, you will notice that you may lose some friendships, or those people will slowly just fall away and deselect themselves, right, from your life. That's totally normal. You, darling, have changed, okay? You are not the same energetically as you were yesterday. The universe is making space for those people and situations that match your current vibration. When you are totally solid in your energetic boundaries, you reach a higher vibrational state that shifts your timeline. Those other people or events may not have as big of a role on the new timeline. And here's the deal, something cool can happen too. The opposite may also happen. You may change, and the others in your life may start to level up with you. And what a happy experience that is too. They may be learning from you, right? Or the timelines that you shift on have a more evolved version of those people. That can happen too. I've seen it happen, right? I've seen it happen with my own husband, actually. But before this video gets too long, I want to know about your experience. Please send me an email or message me with what boundaries you have set and how you're enforcing them. Also, don't forget to do the embodiment exercise below, okay? So with that, I will see you in the next one. Bye.